From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Morreale and Hitch.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Morreale and Hitch podcast. I'm Mike Morreale. Buttercoat's in his basement. That's Rob Hitchcock. We got a special guest today, and he's on. Well, we don't know if it's a he. We're guessing.
Yeah.
Butco said he.
Yeah, he did say he did give it away.
He gives everything away.
So what's going on, buddy? Not much. You missed my birthday last Friday.
What?
But that's okay. That's okay.
First of all, let's get something straight here. Do you know when my birthday is?
I do. It's either in May or March. Hold on. I know when it is. I know. Jeez. I've only known you since I was 20. April is Greg. April 25th is Greg. I don't know how I remember that. April 25th or 17th. That's Gregor, yeah. Okay, you are, I went to a party at your parents' place for you. Or was that for Sienna? I don't know.
You don't know. You forget
what is it? Come on.
It's August, bro.
August,
you're not even close. My point, I'm just trying to make a point here.
I know, it's true.
I don't care. Guys don't remember birthdays very, very much. But now that you're 60, I should have remembered you're 60.
Yeah, but they're in here. If you just have to put them in here. And then it pops up. I had a guy that I've never talked to for 20 years say happy birthday. Who is this? I don't even have the contact information. I had to write back, thank you. No idea.
Okay. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks.
Belated.
Belated.
It's okay. 52, eh?
Oof.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Body feels old. Oof.
Oh God, yeah. On the outside, we're looking okay. Inside, beating.
Yeah, but even the brain and the heart is still young. Sorry, young at heart. But the body, gotta wake up. When it's cold these days, my hands, shoulder, seize up.
I can't do it. Yeah. I gotta move out of here in the winter. It's bad. I feel like I'm a snowbird already. Because we have bodies that are like 75 on the inside.
Well, we could have been gone and retired if we made some money in the CFL, right?
That would have been a nice. Well, when the salary cap when we played was $2.6 million.
Yeah,
it's hard to make money when you have 50 guys on the team.
Yeah, and it's almost 6 now.
I think it's over 6 now.
6 or 7
close to it.
Yeah, that's pretty. Good for them. Hey, we paved the way.
That's right. That's what we're here for, buddy.
Ozzie and the boys back in the 50s and 60s. Ozzie, I think his first contract was $11,000, which back then in the 60s was big money.
And that was more than the NFL paid.
He said when the San Diego Chargers, Don Southern said when I remember talking to him, I said, "What? Yeah, NFL?" Goes, "Yeah, went to Ohio State."
Yeah, he was big time. Big time. And he said they offered me $10,000 in the CFL, and they offered me $11,000. And at that time the dollar was par or whatever better, and he took the 11 and stayed. That was it. Crazy. I only made 19,000 more than him 45 years later. And at that time he was still wearing his spot belts, the old spot belt shoes. Still had them from Ohio State.
No belt.
The bike shorts. Remember the
bike shorts with the no belt. Sometimes he had to get the straw. He got Deeker to go get him the shoelace to put around, but he had to get the skate lace. Wasn't a shoe, it was a skate lace because it wouldn't go around him. Oh,
I love that guy. What a champion.
So the Cats, buddy. Hey, I'm going to do this here. I forgot about this.
There you go. Fix it up. What do you got here?
Remember these?
There you go. Is that Grey Cup? Oh, yeah. Which one was that?
Last year.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah, of course you were. You were
I got
away.
one of those in one of the other
This
markets.
Is nice. This is really nice. So we got these. This is the Grey Cup. This is the start of the week playoffs, buddy.
Let's do it. Put the rally caps on, bro.
It's a little hot in here, so I got to take it off.
Put the rally caps on.
So what are you thinking? So we got Calgary shooting off to BC to play, and they're driving on all cylinders right now. BC looks good with the quarterback Mickey Rourke. He's back.
Still alive, Mickey Rourke?
Oh, he's a good actor. Remember him back?
Oh, I remember he got all sauced up.
The darts.
That wrestling movie, he was all sauced up.
Yeah, long, greasy hair.
Oh, yeah.
But BC, I don't know. It's going to be a really tough game. I mean, in BC, they're going to have that place jammed. And, of course, our beloved Cats are in Montreal playing at McGill.
Yes.
And they're going to be playing the music at 8 billion decibels, so you can't hear a
whether
thing.
there's people in the stands or not.
No, it'll be packed. It'll be packed.
It'll be packed.
You remember the playoff tickets? We went down there. We had I got tickets off all the guys that weren't using them from the States. We sold them for $200 each. I made more that week. I made more than I made in my check that week.
And then we went and bought booze with it for the train ride home.
Yeah. Cooler drank it all.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good though. That's a great environment. So we played there in playoff games. Don't have to think too hard about the one where our boy Joe Higgins went up and made that incredible catch to send us to. Now this is a little bit different. This is the Eastern semis. They got to go to Toronto for the Eastern finals, but still, you got to win this one. They're in good shape. They're firing on all cylinders right now.
I'm a bit disappointed because I'm only going to be able to watch probably 3/4 of it, and then I've got to listen to the rest on the radio. I'm heading to Arizona on Sunday at 7:30 my flight, but you know the airports, they got me there 3 hours. They said at least 3 hours before, right? So,
but the game's at 1,
so
it should be done by 4ish.
Yeah, but I got to be in Toronto
on the way to
Toronto by 4. I'll listen to it on the way, but I kind of really wanted to watch it, but I'll watch most of it, and hopefully they come through because in the following weekend they're in Toronto. Hopefully.
I know, but when you would travel, you're not packing a bag, are you?
I've got a carry-on, but it's for 4 days. So I got
how many Moutons you got in there?
About six Moutons, 3 pairs of pants, a couple golf shirts. The shoes are the killing me because we like shoes. You can't wear the same shoes we got a guy in the office who wears the same shoes all the time. I see him all the time. Same black leather shoes from Costco, same ones all the time. They can't wear them. Can't wear those.
My noni always said to me, "You can judge a man by his shoes."
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got a nice old guy all dressed up, looking mint, and then you look at the shoes. Ooh.
That goes the same for a lady.
Yes, absolutely.
If they have white shoes and they're dirty, it's not good. Even a nice outfit.
Shoes.
Yeah. I always tell Michelle and my daughter, Abe, I said, I don't care if you buy white shoes. If there's any dirt on, throw them in the garbage.
Yeah, you got to clean the shoes. No,
got to clean. You have to.
Or else you look like Flutie.
Yeah. So what?
The runners, the New Balance.
The New Balance with the blue. Sometimes he just gets it without the color in them, just straight white.
No, yeah. How do you even buy those anymore? You have to buy in the old man section, orthotic section for those.
Oh my gosh!
So we got a guest today who's already on the line. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether we bring this person on now, like Butko. Are we if he's just sitting there? I'm assuming it's a he.
Let's bring him on.
Ready to go? You got anything else to chat about, or you want to get into this thing, Rob?
Is this gentleman listening to what we're saying right now? No, it's too bad because we're gonna crush him for being on at 8:55 before us. He was on before us. We don't even know who he is.
Who is this person? Butko, are we ready to go? Or Hitch, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, drum roll. Butko. I can only drum for so long.
Can't be Danny.
Oh my God! I was gonna say I was doing the drum roll, Ozzie. You couldn't hear me. I was doing the drum roll, and I said, "You know who does the drum roll real well?" I was thinking to myself, "Is Ozzie?" And then you popped up. Look at you, you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man.
Well, think that I'm going to fall into a lot of money, then, will you, please?
Okay, we got to tell everybody who this is because not everybody can see you. Paul Osbaldiston, Ozzie, the best kicker in Ticats history. One of the best teammates we played with, a Grey Cup champion, an all-star, a great guy. Oz, I am so excited to see you. You look marvelous. You got your Canada shirt on. Look at this. What's going on, buddy?
Yes, I do. I'm into the World Cup.
Nice.
There's 2 actually going on. The women's rugby team are doing exceptionally well. They're 3rd ranked in the world, and they play England on Friday in the semifinal. And then, of course, nice. The boys start in November. And, I've got my Canada shirt on, obviously, for support. But, just in case.
Are you vacuuming?
Just in case things go wrong, you know where I was born, right?
Oh, I knew that was coming. Buddy.
Canada first, boys.
Yeah, you bet.
How are you, cheeseburgers?
Ozzie, hey, me too. I'm going to take it one step. You said one step further. You did say all those great things about Ozzie, but Not just because you're here, Oz, but not only the best kicker in Ticats history, in the league. I think the league, Oz. And that's no joke, bud. You played 19, 20 years, and we were rookies when you were there. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, when we a little bit more in this show. But it was meeting you, bud, and the first time at Brock was priceless, and you were awesome to us, and you made us feel well. But we'll get into that stuff. But what's going on, pal? Tell us.
Oh, we're right now, if you can't hear, we're remodeling some of the upstairs there. It's there's nothing you can do. When they come, and you take it. And it's been a busy week with Halloween. I'm big on Halloween, so I did the best I could to decorate the house. And fortunately we started on Tuesday with the reno, so we had to move everything out of the kitchen, out of the family room, out of the dining room, all the furniture, all the glasses, everything. So it's been a really hectic week. Lisa's worked her butt off. She's been great. So
thank God for Lisa. Let's pause, Oz.
Yeah.
Thank God for Lisa.
Yes.
Let's just all say that right now. Let's just say that now.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
just in general.
It's getting bad that you guys recognize that now, not just me. But yeah, she holds us together, and who knows where I'd be without her. Let's just say that.
Sounds like you're farting in the background. They're just ripping them. Just like remember that.
I could be a natural thing, but they got the hammer drill going out. They're pulling up the tiles in the kitchen right now. So
perfect.
That's exciting.
Yeah, they work hard, man. I tell you that.
Oh. Well, it's hard to hear you fart through your Depends, eh?
Yeah.
So
it is. Yeah, but thank God for those too, because now I don't really have to worry about it. I just let it fly and whatever. There's an accident. Who gives a
shit? Who gives a shit? You're allowed to swear. Who gives a shit?
You'll learn very quickly, Oz. No one watches this show.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you say.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I do. You know how I watch it? Yeah. Normally, right before bed, when I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll put you guys on, and in about a minute and a half, I'm out. Because if I make it to the guests are great, and then I'm hooked on the show. But it's just the first 15 minutes that are torture, just the two of you guys talking. So it just knocks
just
me
like
out.
playing.
It's fantastic.
Just like playing together.
Is it better than a 2-0?
Well, it's just like welcome to the Hitchcock and Morreale show.
I love it.
We got to go way back to before you and I and Hitch played together, right? We got to go back to when this first started for you. You came from BC. You're a rock and roller with a mullet, coming out of junior football, right? You didn't start in Ticats, though, right? You were either BC or Saskatchewan. I can't remember where you were first. We were Green Bay at one point. Can you give us a lowdown of your journey?
Yeah, well, I went to school in Montana the 1 year, and then played in Richmond the 3 years, and started to get some interest from the Cincinnati Bengals. Actually, I got a phone call at home once, and did the typical hang up. I thought it was my buddy joking around, and it wasn't. So at that point, it never really kind of looked at the next level, and I was like, holy cow, really? So, did a little bit of work, did some, extra training, really worked hard before the draft year, because the Raiders were talking to Saskatchewan. They thought Saskatchewan needed somebody. Calgary needed somebody, they thought. And, so we were trying to, talk them into drafting me. And Saskatchewan drafted 2 guys before me. Calgary drafted a guy before me. And then I went very last to BC.
Really?
Yeah. 7th round, last pick of the 7th round.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Louis Pasaglia was in his 10th year. He just averaged 50 yards a punt. Was the MVP of the Grey Cup, and in year 10 in his prime. So I knew I wasn't going to make it there at all. But he got hurt in an exhibition game, so I ended up playing 3 games for BC, which was great. I remember going home going, wow, you know what? I played in the CFL for my team. It was like you playing for the Ticats, and I went home and like we are, cracked a couple of beers and, put on TV. And Winnipeg was playing, and sure enough, literally had a couple of drinks, which is 4 beers. But anyway, so it all of a sudden Trevor Kenner kicks off and gets whacked in the back. So I just been cut by BC, come home, crack a beer, and I turn on the TV to watch the Winnipeg game. I'm all proud of myself because I got to play in the CFL. I don't care if I ever play again. I played 3 games. Holy, dream come true. So anyway, the next morning at 5 o'clock, the phone rings. I'm out to Winnipeg for 5 games. So I played out there. I did well early, but then, didn't get along with, a few of just the Winnipeg environment, just the coaching, and just didn't get along with it. Didn't like it. So anyway, after 5 games, it was right at the Labor Day point where Bernie Ruoff tore his knee ligaments. So, the day before the game, Winnipeg called me in. Cal Murphy said, hey, it's going to be a cold day before you ever come back here. So, see you later. And, 6 o'clock in the morning, Hamilton calls, come on out. We had played earlier, so I got here on a Thursday and played Sunday in Toronto in the follow-up. And then played 9 games. We won the Grey Cup, kicked 6 field goals in the Grey Cup. Next spring, the Ticats cut me. So I went down to Green Bay, played a couple of games there. Then they cut me. And, then Hamilton said, come on back. And from there, I just said, that's enough. I like it here. I want to be here. I'm staying here.
I know you're in the Ticat Wall of Honor. I know you're one of the greatest kickers to ever play in the CFL, ever, statistically, etc. No Hall of Fame nod yet. I don't want to bring up something that's sensitive, and I know you don't play for that, but
it's not sensitive at all, right? I don't care. Is it a great honor? Absolutely. Does every guy that plays more than a few years in the league want to be in the Hall? Absolutely. I've accomplished everything I wanted to in my football career, and then some.
Yes, you did.
So to me, that would just be, it's a dream come true. But you know what? It's hey, I'm looking at the reason why I played the game.
Well, I will tell you. I want to build on that for 1 second. Then Hitch has a question. See, for me, I would get incredible joy out of seeing you and the other teammates we played with get those accolades. That to me makes me happy. You know what I mean? Because I know what you put into it. I know the trials and tribulations.
Yeah. And we were all the same, and that's why we won games in 98, 99, 2000, was that we all had that attitude. And I remember very clearly in 1999 when we won the Grey Cup, once the game was over, we got all the hats and T-shirts, all that kind of stuff. And then they awarded the trophy on the stage. And I didn't go up. I stood back there and I watched everybody, and I watched all the faces of my teammates and how happy everybody was, and to see guys that had never won the Grey Cup before. To me, that was the best thing ever, was just watching the joy on everybody's faces. I'll get a picture with the Grey Cup later. I don't care.
I actually missed it too. Sudden, I wasn't on the stage either.
I looked over and McManus was over there and doing the same thing. And he's laughing at me, and I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I look over there, and of course, Coach Lancaster's, at BC plays right near the end zone with a cigarette going inside the stadium.
So Oz, talk with Paul Osbaldiston. So going back to about, 17 minutes ago when we were talking about you on the Wall of Honor and you got to be up in the Hall of Fame. And it doesn't matter, but you know what, to every player, you're exactly right. There's a point in a career where you've got all the accolades, you've got the years. And my question was, is there 2 or 3 kickers in the Hall of Fame? Do you know how many are in there right now? Because there's not a lot, if I can remember correctly.
No, Dave Cutler was the first.
Yeah.
Louis Pasaglia, Dave Ridgway, Bob Cameron, and Hank Olisic, and now Paul McCallum.
Okay, so 6.
Yeah,
okay.
For the longest time, Dave Cutler was the only one in there, and that's a shame because there's so many guys that played in that era where there was 14 games, 16 games, so they didn't have the numbers that we did playing 18 games. So a guy like Bernie Ruoff, a guy like Don Sweet, Sean Fleming, Troy Westwood, Terry Baker, Lance, all over and over and over again, these guys that, led their team for a decade and ended up with, most points in franchise history. And, I don't think the position gets recognized enough.
Agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
I think that brings up a good point, though. Like back in those, like all those kickers, including yourself, played for a dozen years. Now that does not happen.
No.
Like what's the difference?
Well, the game's changed, right, Guy? You look at what they say in, and I hate talking about the other league, but the NFL, where this guy was a great quarterback. He was a great quarterback. He's not going to leave a footprint because, he didn't win a Super Bowl. Okay, well, it's not his fault. Yeah. You can, through the 90s, we really didn't have good teams till 98. We had a couple that weren't bad, but, there was lots of great players, lots of them, but it just didn't work for whatever reason. So I just don't like that kind of stigma, that you need that to have a successful or a top level career. That the skill of kicking has changed dramatically. Dave Cutler's field goal percentage is under 60%, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, because at that time he was the best that had ever played in the Canadian Football League. Louis Pasaglia and Dave Ridgway come along, they hit 72, 73%. Again, get you fired these days. But at that time, it was by far the best that was out there, and then by the time I retired, if you weren't hitting 80%, there's something wrong with you. So the skill has increased dramatically. The game has changed dramatically. The athletes have, the nutrition has, the medical.
Definitely nutrition.
Nutrition, yes.
Oh yeah. Like our rundown was, pina coladas and,
beer,
a couple of egg McMuffins.
Ice from the inside.
Here we, let's try not to throw up when we run. And, when you guys are in meetings, I'll go get the beer. That was our rundown. Now they're on all kinds of stuff, doing core work and wrapped up in machines, and, nobody's drinking and nobody's socializing. It's a different world. It really is. Are they better athletes? Yes and no. When we played, we were the best athletes
at
available.
That time. Yeah.
Best at our job, and you look at something like the times of the Olympic 100-yard dash, where Usain Bolt set that number. Well, you look at Jesse Owens, he probably wouldn't even qualify for the Olympics these days. Yet he was the best at that time, the fastest man in the world. We're just getting bigger, stronger, faster, not smarter, all of us, but.
So you're I think, in my opinion, the best person that when we have guests on the show, most of the guests have been with us through the years that we celebrate, right? The 90s and the early 2000s, and the arrival of Danny and Darren, and that kind of where we went from just hanging on to like exploding on the scene, right? But you were there long before me and Hitch and others. So like, and at that point, 89 was the last time you went to the Grey Cup, right? You didn't go in the 90s until 98.
No.
So what was your feeling when you started to, did you see it changing? Like, did you start to see it? What was happening?
Yeah. My rookie year was 1986. It was the third Grey Cup in a row for Hamilton. We played Edmonton. We were, 16-point underdogs.
You crushed them that day.
Yeah, their starting quarterbacks were Matt Dunnigan, Damon Allen, and Tracy Ham.
Crazy.
They were 16-2. And at the end of the half, they had minus 10 yards of offense in a Canadian Football League game. It was just ridiculous. So in my opinion, I thought, okay, well, this is a great place to be. We go to the Grey Cup every year, and, we won it this year. Get a nice bonus, and I got a big screen TV, and, I'll go to Europe and blow all my money and move in with my parents in February. And as time went on, you learn the game, you learn the businesses, you become smarter as a man. Let's face it, when we start playing football, we're 21 years old, 22 years old, and all of a sudden, bang, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of heat. It's, very intense when you're a young man, and that's all you tend to concentrate on. And as you kind of get settled in your career, you understand that, okay, well, there's other things to do and consider, and, the finances are one of them and all that kind of stuff. So, it was very easy to see when Harold Ballard died. When I first started, Harold Ballard owned the club.
Wow.
And over years, he had just basically said, I don't care if people come or not. I want to beat Toronto, and I eventually want to win a Grey Cup. So when he died, we were literally hours away from folding. And David Braley came in, and we were one of the organizations that he saved. Thank God for him, or there wouldn't be a Canadian Football League, in my opinion.
Yep.
And, he did a great job for the first year, which was 89. And then in 90, we had a coaching change. He let Al Bruno go. Things did not go so well from there. And when he, decided that, okay, well, I'm not going to bankroll this organization, we went through all the community ownership. And at that point, you could tell that things were going downhill. No repairs to the stadium. We're not signing any quality players. When Ben Zambiazzi retired, there went our weight room. It was all his personal stuff. I remember at one time it got so bad that I had to drive down to the center mall to buy some socks for practice. We had no socks, and that was after the Pittsburgh Steelers had sent us their
pants and socks. Yeah,
pants and socks. For us, because and then at that time again, after you guys were there when Grant and McDonald let go of the club, and we went through that kind of period where nobody in, nobody out. I needed some time down. I was physically playing, when I shouldn't have, and we couldn't bring or wouldn't bring anybody else in. We had no money. Our hands were tied, and it was a pretty rough time, and that was after.
I think in those years, that's a lot. We're condensing a lot of years in a small period of conversation. Did you ever think of leaving? Because you never left.
No, there was some close calls. At one point, I had negotiated. I was a free agent, and I negotiated a contract. Part of it was, receiving some money when I showed up, and the day before camp, they called and said, we're not going to do this. So I said, okay. So I sat at home, and, Toronto called 2 days later, and I was literally about an hour away from signing with Toronto because I needed to play. And Hamilton was not willing to sign the contract. And it was very, very frustrating. And, I thought about it, and I was literally about to pick up the phone and say, okay, I'll sign with you guys. And Don Southern called me and said, I heard what's going on. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I said, well, coach, I got to play. I can't sit out a year. I can't sit out half a season. And he said, come tomorrow. Come tomorrow. I'll take care of it. And he did.
Let me guess. It was Tattoo from Fantasy Island that was doing your contract?
McCarthy.
Tattoo.
Oldsbard.
No, you can't. It was Tattoo. It was Tattoo for sure. It was Tattoo for sure.
Yeah, and then there was when they released me, I had trials with Dallas, Cincinnati, and Green Bay. They all offered me contracts, and that's when I went to Green Bay. And again, it wasn't, it was, well, I can't play there. It was like, the end of camp, so everybody's roster was set. There was nobody saying we need a kicker yet, so I went down there and gave it a shot there. Later on, also I had another trial with Detroit, and it was the same situation where the contract at Hamilton was not working out for whatever reason. And, you got to protect yourself. Like, you've only got so long to play. And I think all three of us were extremely lucky, and, well over the average. And you guys both know how much that takes, especially when you get a little bit older. You get smarter, but You have to be, otherwise you're going to make it.
To our, I think we got about 32 fans now, but we're listening
Nice.
and watch this show, Oz. But
31 because I'm actually on the show.
Okay, sorry, buddy, but we are talking with Ozzie, Paul Osbaldiston, our good friend. And you talked earlier before all this shenanigans happened with your computer and all of your construction going on, but your journey. And I had another kicker in mind, and you'll remember this. And it sounds almost like the same journey this guy had. You went from here to there, and your journey was off the charts awesome. But remember Dan Giancola used to kick up at Brock.
Oh, yeah.
We had a kicker that would come up, and for our fans, his name was Dan Giancola, and he's probably one of our listeners, which I doubt. And we were practicing up at Brock, and Ozzie would be up there kicking his balls and all by himself up there. I think Vinny was with you, going to grab
shagging the balls.
Shagging the balls, good old Vinny. And I remember this kicker up there. We were doing special teams, and this kicker went up in 15 balls in a big bag, and he started kicking every day at Brock during our training camp. And was that something that I know you went and talked to him a couple of times, because you used to have a bike and you used to leave for about 30 minutes on your bike and say you went for a ride, but you just went around the corner and probably had a nap
with the Burger King. With the Burger King.
Who would you do something like that these days? Because he got looked at and he got an opportunity. Played in Toronto. I think he went to he didn't play in the Grey Cup, but I think he won. I don't know him all that well, but anyways, would you ever think of doing something like that? Or good on him to try something, but you must have been howling when that happened.
You mean go to Burger King?
Yeah.
Well, we knew you did that.
We knew you did that.
I've done that before.
That bike you had was the best.
All I have to do is follow the Danny McManus jerseys for the Whoppers. Right. With these. What's today's special? It's a McManus. What's that, a Whopper?
That's funny.
I used to ride my bike all through. They had great off-road trails back there, and I, at that point was where you need to do something else to condition yourself, and that was a fun way of getting out for half an hour, getting the heartbeat going, and see a little bit of the area, because it was.
I think you biked it down to the Cat's Caboose. You biked it to the Cat's Caboose.
No, because I'd never make it back up that hill. I'm smarter than that. Yes.
Yes. So Hitch, we got to have Ozzie back, because we haven't even literally scratched the surface. Oh, no. Not even close to what the discussions we can get into now. So we need to have Ozzie back. Ozzie probably historically knows more than probably anybody alive in the Hamilton Ticat organization. I would say that you, and you're not even from here, which is incredible, right? Yeah. You're a BC kid that ended your way up here, live here now, made your home here, found your family here. You knew more about the Ticats. You know more about the stadium and the wind patterns and the intricacies of the CFL than I would say just about anybody in the Ticat organization this day. And that's not being disrespectful to that. Just what you possess. I mean, was that always? Were you that guy when you were a kid? Were you always inquisitive, or you just that was part of being the best you can be?
I was always drunk when I was a kid, so I don't know.
Well, there you go. Makes sense.
You know what it was, Mike? I think when you settle into a career, and Ron Lancaster was very good at describing this, how you show up and everything's, glitter and gold, everything's great. Holy cow, they do my laundry. There's Gatorade in that bucket. I can drink as much as I want. They're going to pay me after every game to play the game I love. This is great, and then all of a sudden you get into a stage, and some guys go through it very quickly. Some guys never get out of it. It's that, well, they're not doing this. I don't like the coaching. I think that this defense is lousy. They focus on the negatives. And then you get into that really good stage where you figure out, why am I playing this game? What's the important part about this game? Why do I love it? Why am I here every day through hell and high water, through good times, bad times? Why am I here? And then once you recognize that, then you start to focus on things in the game that are different, that where you as an individual, and I was a captain from 1989, 15-year team captain, I had to, I had to be able to go up to the head coach and say, don't call your timeout,
Right.
this is happening. Or, I used to add my opinion because I learned from some very good coaches about clock management and wind management. And in the older stadiums in the CFL, that was extremely important. And it won and lost so many games in October. Mm-hmm. Just not knowing the league, the game, the rules. Why are we deferring, and not taking the ball? It's like 1998 when we won the coin toss. To me that was win. But that's fine because we had to win in the either the first and the fourth or the second and the fourth because it's our choice, right? So hey, it's that part of the game and things like that, helping your teammates out. Anybody in the organization, whether it's the equipment people, media people, it's learning little things that make everybody else around you better. And when you get that in a locker room and you get enough of that, man, are you in business. And we always talk about it. We always talk about how great our locker room was, how we knew our role, how we protected each other on and off the field, how we supported each other on and off the field, and how we got drunk. But
sometimes
there was so many of those guys in the locker room that it was easy to win. Really, it really was easy to win.
Yeah.
And then when coaches look at that, it's an intangible. You can't put it. I played for 18 years. I played with great guys, and the locker room was lousy. And then you'd have a guy that, from another team that you hated, and he'd come in and it was like, wow, this guy's great as a teammate, and that's the first light bulb that went off for me because I used to hate all the other teams and hate the other players. And, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second, they're doing the same thing we are, or I'm doing. So, you learn a lot of little things over the years that help out. And that locker room for us was the biggest thing. And how the hell we ever had all those guys in at one time is like, it's ridiculous. Like you think of, like, we can talk about everybody on the team and we will laugh as hard as we possibly can at one time, at least over discuss,
I think we're going to do, we're going to, this is recorded and we're going to send this to every single team. And it sounds like you should be the next GM on some team in the CFL, but honestly, you've got the mind for it. I know you've always thought about it. The clock management, the team player, you see Kyle Walters out as a GM out in Winnipeg, and he's got the same mentality. And it's
same with Osh, right?
Same with Osh and those, and Steiny and all the guys that played the game before. I mean, you would add so much, pal, to this league, and I'm surprised I haven't seen you in that role somewhere. But Paul Osbaldiston, our friend, our teammate. We haven't even got into.
Oh my God, we got to come back.
You're coming back for sure. We got to cut this, but we haven't even talked about your thoughts of Mike and I coming in as rookies, and I know that's going to be a whole show. So we're not starting it now, bud, because we've got a lot to go on. But you're coming back. We're going to get you back on maybe next week, Oz.
Sure. Okay. So we got the Hitch and Morreale rookie version show we can do.
Yep.
And then we'll have to move on to the Skittles and the Fat Bastard Shiraz. We'll have to do an entire show on that.
Ginsu.
Ginsu, all the inside jokes that people are looking at us right now like we're idiots. And
we are idiots.
We are idiots. At least we admit it and we know, and it works for us, right? It was great to see everybody up at Danny's induction the other week. That was pretty spectacular. It really was. The organization did a fantastic job, and it was great to see the boys from 72 as well.
Yeah.
The Trailblazers that really, set things up for guys like us. And wow, what a special.
You were sitting at, weren't you part of that team?
You played in 72, no? 72? 71?
71, I think he came in.
Now you know why I go to sleep when the guest isn't on.
Okay, guys, we got to wrap this up. From these three idiots, Morreale, Hitchcock, and Osbaldiston, and the other idiot in the background in his basement, David Butko. We're going to have you back, Ozzie. This is part one of the Paul Osbaldiston show. And we can't wait to see you again from everybody here at the Ticats Audio Network. Tune in, and we'll talk to you soon.
That's another episode of Morreale and Hitch on the Ticats Audio Network. Have a question or a comment for them? Email us at mnh@ticats.ca. That's MANDH@ticats.ca.